part-time as a teacher and as a school principal. Richard Zamora will be speaking from the Public Relations Manual in the Advanced Communication and Leadership Program. This will be speech number 4, Speaking Under Fire. The title of his speech is School Discipline. There will be a 6 to 8 minute presentation with 8 to 10 minutes for questions and answers. So as you listen to his speech, I know there will be questions in your mind as to the validity of what he is going to be saying. So you will have your opportunity to put him on the hot seat. I give you Dr. Richard Zamora.
Good morning, Toastmasters and guests.
Good morning.
In my last speech, I talked about being opposed to corporal punishment, and I supported my opposition with literature and research in the field. An example of opposition is the NEA, the National Teachers Association, the biggest teacher association in the United States, came out with 17 points being against corporal punishment. An example of these are that the practice is ineffective, that it instills hostility in students, that it teaches that might makes right, and that it discourages alternative strategies for disciplined children because corporal punishment is immediately available. Also, in my doctoral dissertation, my findings indicated that corporal punishment had an inverse correlation in student achievement in reading and math at the 1st, 3rd, and 5th grade levels. Today I'm going to talk about school discipline and strategies that teachers use in the classroom that have been found to be effective. Watson, Skinner, and Pablo have done extensive research with behavior modification. They contend that those behaviors that are reinforced with positive praise or with concrete rewards are those behaviors that students will want to emulate. They did research with dogs. They had 2 groups of dogs. One group of dogs, for 6 weeks, they rang the bell, then they fed them meat. They rang the bell, then they fed them meat. At the end of the 6 weeks, all they had to do was ring the bell, and the dogs would salivate. Whereas with the control group, they rang the bell, but they did not feed meat. And at the end of 6 weeks, they rang the bell, and still they would not salivate. So then they decided to transfer this findings on an experimental basis into the classroom, where the teacher reinforces those behaviors that she wants the students to emulate with positive praise or with concrete rewards. The teacher will say, I like how Mary is sitting nice and tall at her desk. And all these students perk up and listen, and they then know that this is the type of behavior that the teacher will praise and expects. Or there's some students in the back talking in a loud voice, and she wants to reinforce talking in a soft voice. She'll say, oh, I like how Tom is talking in a soft voice. Students, of course, will listen and will want to emulate that type of behavior. Teachers can also use concrete rewards such as stickers. Maybe you got some stars when you were in school, put some stars in your paper. Or for behavior, have the names of all the students here, and each day you get a star. If you have good behavior at the end of the week or the end of the month, you get a certificate for a free ice cream cone. Also, the teacher has student helpers or hall monitors, or a student that will take the class attendance to the principal's office in the morning. Anything and everything that the teacher can do to reinforce the behaviors that she wants are acceptable. Well, school's going to be starting, and on the first day of school, that's a very important day for the teacher. And she welcomes the students. Boys and girls, welcome to the school, this new school year. We have a lot of things to learn. As you well know, you're going to have to take the Iowa test of basic skills and the TOS test in the spring. And I know we all want to do our very best. But in order to have a positive classroom environment, we need to have some rules so that we all know what the rules are. But you know, it's easy for me to make rules, but I don't want them to be my rules. I want them to be your rules. So why don't you come up with some ideas on some rules that we should have? And they shouldn't be very many because, you know, we'll forget them if we have too many. Felipe, okay, talk in a soft voice. Keep your hands to yourself. Raise your hand to be recognized. Well, very good. We have 6 to 7 rules, and now let's vote on them. Everybody in favor? Raise your hand. Okay, we got unanimous. Now remember, boys and girls, these are your rules. They're not my rules. By the students having input and say so about the rules, they are buying in. And so they're not rules that the teacher is imposing on them. Well, these are things that we as parents can also do at home with our child or children. But we also need consequences. Boys and girls, you know, we also need consequences. If you break the rules, there should be some consequences. So let's come up with the consequences. Max, time out. 5 to 10 minutes time out. Very good. 5 to 10 minutes time out means that we put the child behind a partition away from the main group, and we set the timer, and the timer goes off 5 to 10 minutes, then we can ask the student to come back. This way the student does not distract the students, and the students do not distract the student behind the partition. And while he's behind the partition, the student is doing some schoolwork. Another rule can be, Mary, the student writes a note to the parent about the rule that broke, and the parent has to sign it, read it, and sign it, and return back to the teacher the next day. Very good rule, Nestor. Very good. Oh, fighting. Okay. If there's fighting, then what we need is to send to the principal's office. And you know how that's not very good. Well, also, we move on to the school district having a code of student conduct. And this code of student conduct is set up by students, parents, teachers, principals, and school administrators. And they set the policies for the school. And then the Board of Education votes on it. These go home to the parents, and the parents have to sign that they received this code of student conduct, and they return that paper back to the teacher. And they can never say they never received the code of student conduct. In the upper grades, if you have drugs or weapons, you can be expelled. But also, not only can you be expelled, but also you're breaking a city ordinance. And the principal calls the police to come and escort the student downtown for processing. And this happened a lot where I was principal at McReynolds Middle School. It's important to set parameters for our children so they can grow up to be successful citizens. And it's our responsibility as parents and educators to do that. At this time, I'm going to open it up for questions.